Hey there, team. So that's me just back from a bit of work. I don't know how long I'll be home for, but I shouldn't be going away anytime in the immediate future anyway. So I missed out on the initial surge of that came with the new patch, but from what I've been seeing, it's still pretty active. In comparison to how it was previously, and people are still really hyped up and excited about it all. So I've certainly not missed the mark by too far anyway. I want to do something a little bit different since I just came back and kind of do, I guess, my initial feelings on the new patch and everything to do with that. So I guess starting, it's not overly important, but it really is quite important to me, is because playing game is so much about the atmosphere of it all for me. So the main menu and well the introduction, I do much prefer the what do you call that anyway? I guess the opening clips that we've got with this new patch. I much prefer them to what we had before. I always felt that it kind of felt a little bit out of place, the music that we had for that. I do much prefer this one. I was hoping to do this with my very first launch of the game, but I had to launch it a few times just to test it. So yeah, this is the main menu, as I'm sure everybody's seen, I hope. And when I was seeing this in a few, because I did watch a few battle reports when I was at sea, and I caught sight of this, and to be honest, I didn't actually like the look of it too much. I thought it's too barren, it's too bare, and I much preferred the old one that we had with the last patch, with all the clips running by, and you saw the ring getting forged, and I wasn't too happy, to be honest. But now that I'm seeing it, yeah, it's a lot more detailed than it looked on my phone when I was watching these battle replays. So I think it's good. It's a nice mix, and I think it'll definitely. I could see for some of the more veteran players, those clips would be starting to wear them down a bit. Glad that we've not changed the music. I think this is the perfect song for it, or tune for the background. And let's see, not too much to talk about with that, but it's important to me. Let me just lower the graphics. I'm glad that the sound hasn't changed for clicking on things either. I think I've just always enjoyed that. So just go for what I normally go for. Yeah, okay, cool. It's set down to everything's set correctly for me. As I was hoping it would be. Now I'm hoping to just jump straight into a quick 1v1 actually. Hopefully with a random person that I can find. I'm not going to call it quick 1v1 because usually when I do that, people get the intention. Well, people get the thought that all we're going to do is make armies and slam them into each other. I do want to try and put a bit of tactics in this, just not as much as I normally would. So that's everything is fine. The music in the background has died out, but that's okay. I think I don't know if that's a setting. I thought that, usually the music would keep playing. I want to play as one of the newer factions, so Dorwinion was who I was hoping to play. And also as well, right, something that looks a lot better now that I'm seeing them are these faction symbols. I really didn't like the look of them when I was catching sight of them in the work in progress, but seeing them now, I think it's okay. Yeah, they look a lot better than I thought they did. So no, I'm happy enough with them. That's another one of my fears gone. I didn't really think there was anything wrong with the way they were before, and I did like that they were kind of the general shape of all the shields, but I think just standardizing them in this way, and they're so high quality, like they look great. So no, I'm okay with this. I'm going to leave it for a few minutes, kind of until I run out of things to talk about, and then if nobody's come on by that point, then I'll just jump into a versus AI battle, and as I say, not really focusing on tactics here, more on units off Dorwinion. I'm not gonna run through all of the factions, but just kind of anything new I want to touch on. So Dorwinion, when I first started hearing about Dorwinion, that's a small roster actually. Is that all they've got? Right, I thought that was more, but at the end of the day, that's kind of all I really need. So no, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll run through what I'm actually wanting to piece together in a minute. But they don't have civilians, which is too bad. I don't really use civilians in the open field, but I like to use them in sieges, just as kind of a more of a cinematic feel of things. You know, you just have your civilians right at the final stage, and if you've got any money left over when you're making your army. But yeah, so I'll piece together my army, and then if nobody's joined, I'll just go versus AI. I'll have I'll try and make an army similar to how I would form a Cardinal force. So that means my general is going to be dismounted. Now, by the looks of that, it seems to be these Merquindi Glade Masters are what I'm looking for. They are. I know nothing about these units. Yeah, I've seen one battle, but to be honest, I was more just looking at the army as a whole rather than each individual unit. Quite expensive, 700 in comparison to the general sort of man at arms, but the defense that I'm seeing from that is huge. The armor is great, of course, and I do like the whole incredible stamina thing that they've got going for them. I think that's really cool. They're pretty fantastic looking units here. Yeah, well, looking and also, no doubt, with the skill. There's no cheap spearmen, which is a worry for me. I do like having some cheap spearmen out front. How much ammo? That's a 20 ammo. Yeah, they're not. Numenor is kind of frightening to me. I will definitely try out Numenor soon. And good, somebody joined. So that is dandy. Means we can rattle an actual fight here. I'll give him a quick hey. Yeah, I should probably actually make my army. Not waste this guy's time. So I'll go for my usual. Is that my only pike unit? Do I not have any other pikemen? I think it is. Okay, so let's try and get two of those. Pretty small pike line in my center. Let's go for 2 spears. Actually, 3 spears. Quite a lot. One is going to be guarding my archers. 2 Merquindi bows, and then 2 of these Avilian marksmen. 3 spears. My general there. I like the idea of some of these river patrol. Let's go for no rules for now. Yeah, like hopefully he doesn't cheese it. Who's he playing as there? Rune. Okay, cool. Oh gosh, he's probably going to bring that new fire-spitting artillery piece, but I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I do enjoy elites when I'm playing as the human factions, so definitely take these Hammer Guard. And still got 4,000 left. So right, so they're very good. All right, I'm gonna just stick to these guys. I want to play it somewhat cheap with what I've got left. Got enough elves overall. Then these Glade Riders, they are charging. Very nice charge there. And then the Merquindi Stalkers. Now Merquindi Stalkers, for that price, do not expect them to be body piercing. Definitely not with that much ammunition. Well, 32. Yeah, I don't really do horse archers too much, so let's just grab a unit of them. And do I want a unit of these knights if I have exactly that right amount of money? So that's very tempting. Yeah, let's grab a unit of those too, just see how it goes. Then I tend to organize my roster with archers back here. And then that looks good. Put him up the front there next to that guy. And alright, cool. I'm already up. Hopefully he won't take too long. I switched out. He is now the Witch Realm of Angmar. Historically, I lose up against Angmar quite frequently, so we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna be what I might end up doing, because I don't really talk while I play too much. So if I'm just not feeling like I'm saying anything worthwhile, I'll pause the recording and just do a standard recording. You know, like I'm doing a normal battle replay, and I'll slot that in at this point in the video. But hopefully I can make it. Hopefully I can find stuff to speak about. But yeah, as I say, historically I don't do well against Angmar. I find them quite difficult. I think I've got my very exceptional pikes in the centre. They should be a very good anchor for me. I've got, I think, 3 units of those swordsmen. Yeah, good. And then it's 3 spears. Do I really want 3 spears? I think I just want 2. One floating around at the back, and then that's good. Yeah, gives me another swordsman to kind of deal with his infantry swarm, and yeah, that way I can just keep having 2 spearmen. I use 1 spearman to guard my archers, and then 1 spearman to, well, float around behind my lines and scare off Cav. But yeah, so hopefully I've got Cav advantage. But he might be bringing wargs. If he does, that's a pain. So I'm doing nice open out. I just wanted to map up. Ooh, the arrow keys are not working for me. That's going to be a pain. Why is that the case? Oh well. Work it out mid-fight or afterward. So set them up there. I tend to be pretty basic with my formations, as people will have probably noticed. Set my men up like that. Then swordsmen, just line them up in the back here, nice and spread out. I'll be moving the archers forward a little bit more actually. The elites at the back there. Move my archers forward just a bit more, just to keep my pikes from taking unnecessary archer fire in the initial skirmish phase. Spread this unit out, have them lined up behind them. Not really too worried about a cav charge from Angmar, but good unit of war. Oh, no, yeah, Witch Realm Inquisitors don't really have much of a charge on them. So as I say, this is a unit at the back, keep them to just guard against anything. And yeah, I think that's nice and basic. Just see how this goes. Now, as always, against Angmar, I will always deploy a little bit back, because pretty commonly you can expect an immediate charge from them. So, you know, people expect you to just be lining right up against the edge. And nice clear line of sight. I could, yeah, no, just in case he makes use of it, I'm going to deploy sort of along the side here. This could be me lagging. Could very well be me lagging. But I'll give him a few seconds. If he does crash out, then that'll be really unfortunate. And I'll just do a quick battle against the AI. Come on, please come back, friend, please. No, I really do like the look of Dorwinion. They were, when I initially started hearing about Dorwinion, they were not something that was on my radar at all. I thought that I'm not going to enjoy playing as them. They don't sound very good. They sound just, well, it's not that they don't sound very good. They just don't sound like my sort of playstyle. But I saw this battle that Umad posted up. Wow. Oh yeah, of course, that's just the barrel wipes. And I saw them and I thought, wow, that actually looks a lot of fun. Good quality archers, which I always like to win the skirmish phase. That's always a massive plus for me. And then, you know, decent men infantry, you know, not a huge amount of variety when it comes to Cav, but I don't really need variety in Cav. The only thing that concerns me a bit is a lack of sort of melee cav to counter enemy cavalry, but we've got these Glade Lords, and the Nandor Glade Riders, I'm sure they're pretty fast, just get away from anything that's coming at them anyway, but I like to, it's more in order to counter enemies charging me. I think that, yeah, getting hit by charges is going to be the death of me. Oh, that's really sad. Yeah, so just quite. As I say, this match is not. He didn't outnumber me that much, and my army was very small and elite. So I'd be really interested in knowing what he brought to the field. Damn, you don't get to see. Yeah. So as I say, I will get some normal battles up really soon. I just wanted to put this out. So quick battle against the AI, just again Anduin. I'm not going to do this for every faction. I want to because Dorwinion is a faction that seems to be very interesting to me. So let's make him Aymar. Have a look. So I think Dorwinion could become one of my main factions if I allow it to. So what's the army I had before? Yeah, yes, good. And just see what they give them. I'd probably don't give them 2 artillery pieces, and find. Oh yeah, damn, they look good. I will look through everything and really make sure they're using their free snag of stalkers. And another goblin band, is that? Yeah, it's always tough to like make armies for the AI. It's never gonna be able to use them too well, but that'll be fine. Just jump on into it. They've crap. Yeah, they've got 2 units of Barrowwits. That's all right. So yeah, the Shire is not something that I like the idea of it for scenario battles. I like either Umad was talking a lot about wanting to run some actual historical battles, and I think that's such a cool idea. But there are a lot of historical battles that the hobbits were actually part of, but I more mean it for in the sense of a scenario rather than an actual historical reenactment. So I will try and treat this as if it was a normal enemy that I was fighting, well, a normal player that I was fighting. And if I lose, it's going to be terribly embarrassing, but I shouldn't. Been fighting Creative Assembly's AI since I was about 10 years old, so this should be a very simple fight. Yeah, music's kicking really loud. Yeah, my arrow keys are not working. I'll need to work that out before I jump into an actual fight. It seems to me that like low. Is it just me, or is low quality become very low quality? I don't know. Maybe it's just Dorwinion. Like they just seem. Oh yeah, shoot, they've got. Look at that range that I've got. That's lovely. Yes, those goblin trackers do not stand a chance. The work skirmishers are coming up. Yeah, I should probably actually focus on what I'm doing just a little bit. So of course I'd spread out a bit more if I was under catapult fire, but more just wanted to see sort of what units can put up with. Yeah, I should probably actually just go a bit on the aggressive here, as I would sort of have to if that's actual rogue riders over there. Okay, cool. Let's sort of see how these units can put up with a. There's a Witchers there. Okay, yeah, no, should actually behave a bit better here. So I would get my swordsman out on the flanks. I know that this force here, although they're probably not going to be winning any medals in combat, they are not going to be routing. I'm very interested to see how many kills those swordsmen get at the end of all this. Well, let's get the elites moved up too. So, oh, so my Glade Riders got devoured. But I think they did actually have some Goblin Band there, Spearmen coming in. Ooh, probably just sort that out. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just... I just feel that that's lower quality than what I'm used to. I think it's the black boxes around the units that just make things look a bit unpleasant. I'm sure that's something that we're hopefully going to be working on. By we, I mean people much more skilled at any of this than I am. I say need to... oh hell, yeah, I'm getting absolutely outplayed here. Goblin Band again, pursuing my boys. So they are routing there. 31 men. But they were heavily outnumbered there. Marquindi Pikes putting up with a lot of punishment there. Good, so winning there, so we'll grab one of these units, slam them on down. Guardians of the Carndom probably actually should use the... and then just use the standard infantry to backstab that. No, I would love... and something I do want to do more of is try and get a few more 1v1s done. Usually I always end up in, say, 2v2s or 3v3s. What I just always seem to do is I put out a battle with the intention of doing a 1v1, but I don't call it a 1v1, I don't set a player limit, and suddenly the game's full. So it's or there's a bunch of people that have joined, so it's a lot sort of more difficult to get a 1v1 sorted out than I sometimes feel it should be. But I think you can get a lot of tactics done in 1v1. Yeah, so right, there's some war skirmishers. Easily these Glade Lords should be able to beat them. And this seems to be sort of starting to rout. So I've really mistreated this army, and it's pulled through for me. So I'm pretty happy, really. Now, of course, player would have targeted my archers here a lot more, and really shut that down nice and early. It stopped me from using them as just this absolute slaughter. Of course, the Barrowwoods will absorb arrows. I love that. Like, so those are poison arrows. So that's probably what's causing a lot of this early routing from these orcs. That's something I could definitely try and use a lot more of in fights. You know, actually picking my targets, not to kill, or not, except not like mainly to kill, but like primarily picking my targets to try and rout certain units. So that I'm pretty excited about that idea. Everybody's launching up 3 kingdoms, so I think I'm gonna, as soon as I'm done this, I'm gonna see what's going on. I might get a battle or 2 down at 3 kingdoms. 3 kingdoms is certainly not. I've talked about this before, but like what I wanted from 3 kingdoms was a Shogun 2, an updated Shogun 2 with heroic units, and that's just not what it was. So I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just not. It's not what I wanted. It's yeah. So that's all there is to it. But it's still it's fun. It's always fun to play Total War games with your friends. So I'll see what they're up to. But yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna shove it onto full speed now. So as I say, I mistreated my units there a lot. I allowed them to get into really dodgy situations in the center there. Now this was not an expertly crafted Angmar army. This was definitely not an expertly crafted. You're seeing a lot of these people are coming back. So that was kind of a mass rout that, of course, if I had a more active cavalry force, I could have obliterated that while it was routing. So, oh hell, whoops. Well, that was a mistake. Well, let's see, is that gonna, that might make somebody, no, everybody's still pretty excited about fighting, so good for them. Yeah, no, so I've thrown a lot of these units into fights well, the Hammer Guard have not really had a good showing. Well, by not had a good showing, I mean they've not been given the opportunity to have a good showing. Yeah, these guys keep on turning around, but we'll chase them down with the cav. So, no, yeah, so as I say, I think that the Marquendi bows have just been chasing these, every time sort of a large bulk of these units turn up, they just get swarmed with poison arrows and forced to rout. Now, I didn't actually look at the melee stats of these marksmen, so I know the Marquendi units are of course going to be pretty good, but the Elvelyn marksmen, I didn't have a look at what they were capable of in melee. I'm of course not going to be throwing my archers into melee willy-nilly, but I do like it when my archers can hold their own against poor quality units. You know, so that if they do get caught off guard, or in situations like this, mainly in sieges where they usually will run out of ammunition, I know that they're not going to be useless. So yeah, as I say, it's these black boxes that are making me feel it's poorer quality than it really is. So hopefully that is something that will get fixed. Just because it makes it, you know, I don't know, it kind of makes it seem like I'm playing like Age. I'm thinking of Age of Empires, maybe. Where are their units remaining? No, okay, good, finished. No, just end the battle there. So what performed pretty well. So the Glade Masters, they did get a lot of kills, and you know, they threw themselves into some pretty dodgy engagements. The general ended up dying, but 178 kills, quite nice. Marquendi Pikes, of course, I know how Marquendi Pikes behave, I'm happy with that. The Hammer Guard did good, considering how sort of few engagements they were actually put into. But I guess everything they were fighting, you know, they ran through broken lines, they made contact with destroyed units. So the Vine Guard, 4 spears up against, I don't think I used my spears to counter enemy cavalry at all. I think all the spears were being used up against infantry, so that was good. Happy with that. Elvelyn infantry, I couldn't really ask for anything different than that. They are 700 apiece, which, you know, I'm used to. I guess the Minas Grithlin swordsmen are 600 apiece, or they're either 550 or 600. So not too much more expensive, and I did feel that they were performing better than the Minas Grithlin swordsman would. So happy with that. The archers actually killed a lot less than I expected. Now they did not have great shots throughout all of that, but they all had very similar shots, and I wasn't telling any of them where to shoot. And you can see this out of the Marquendi bows really racked up almost double the kills of one of the marksman units, so that's kind of cool. I will always set up in that sort of engagement, because I will need to build my archer forces to counter enemy archers. You're not always going to be, well, if you know you're going to be fighting Angmar, you know you're not really, you know you've won the range game right from the get-go. So it's you can of course build your army differently. The Glade Riders, not their fault. That was just the way that things went. So no, as I say, strange video. Expect a few more 1v1s coming out, and a few more just fights in general with the new patch before I can really get my head around it. But that was just an initial thoughts. So thank you.